get up in here, man. Get up in here. Get up in here. All right, man. All right. So, y'all get up in here, man. Y'all get up in here. Y'all get up in here, man. I'm gonna give y'all a second to get up in here, and we gonna get started. Y'all get in here. Get in here. Get in here. Give y'all a second, real quick. Jump in, and then we gonna get it cracking. So let's see. At, so, so, ooh, woo. Give y'all a second, man. Get in here. Oh man. Oh man. Welcome back. Welcome back, man. Welcome back to the show, man. I'm your host. I am the Spree, and you are on the Spree Speaks. It's a pleasure, man, to have y'all on with me tonight, man. We got an interesting show tonight. Very interesting. Before we get off into it, man, I don't know if you guys really follow uh, Twitter or TikTok or Instagram or any of that stuff, but I saw a rap guy. His name is Loose Cannon. I don't really know who he is, but I looked at it when I heard it on the radio. So this guy, man, Loose Cannon, made an accusation saying that Shawnee O'Neal is his sugar mama, right? So the internet went bananas. The radio stations went bananas. I don't even know who Loose Cannon is, but the fact of the matter is, the man said Shawnee O'Neal paid him 50 racks to have sex with her, man. A week before she married Minister Keon. And so, you know, um, it's been a buzz everywhere. It's like a buzz. People just like, what? Shawnee O'Neal? Like, what? Man, what is going on? Shawnee O'Neal paid this man 50 racks? Allegedly. Allegedly. I don't know this to be a fact. I don't know none of that. I'm just saying allegedly Shawnee O'Neal paid Loose Cannon 50 grand, to have sex. She supposedly is his sugar mama. Supposedly. So yeah, it's crazy out here, man, in the social media where it's a lot happening, man, out here in these here streets. So somebody sent me a topic in, and the topic that was sent to me was called side pieces. Now, listen, everybody knows, man, on the Spree Speaks, we speak on it. You know what I mean? Nothing is off limits. I ain't running from no topics. I ain't dodging. We get into it, man, on the show. And so when the topic was first sent to me, I processed it, and I said, hey, man, let's take a swing at it. Let's take a swing at it. And so, having said that, we're going to get into it tonight. Now, listen, anybody, any of my viewers is welcome to speak on this topic. Any of my viewers. All you got to do, if you want to come on, send me an invite. I have you come on. You can call. If you don't want to be seen on the camera, you can call, and we'll do a call-in interview. If you got something you want to say, that's cool. But we gonna get into it, man. I have broken this down into pros and cons, because it's always two sides of every story. It's always one side and then another side. You always have some who are gonna say side pieces are relevant, And you're also gonna have some who gonna say side pieces are irrelevant, right? And so we're gonna get into both sides of it tonight on the show. So listen, I understand that I have a vast, broad variety of viewers. I understand it. I get it, man. I got young viewers, I got middle-aged viewers, I got some older viewers, I got some religious viewers, I got some non-religious viewers, I got some people who just don't give a, and so tonight, everybody gets an opportunity to be whoever they choose to be tonight. You got some 2 cents you want to give me, tonight is your time to give me your 2 cents. Okay? Nobody's being overlooked. Nobody's comments are being overlooked. Any comment you feel like you want to shoot at me, shoot at me. If you have questions that you want to shoot at me, shoot them. We answering them. We answering them. I'm going to be looking at everything that's posted, and I'm going to be getting into it. So we going to get started, man. And to ensure that I keep it 100, to ensure I got an outline that I'm going to go by to ensure that everything is going the way it's supposed to go and we ain't missing a beat, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is we're going to get off into reasons why having a side piece can be relevant, right? Can be a good idea. So first reason, variety. You want a difference of variety, right? You want something different. You don't want the same thing all the time. Novelty, okay? One argument, obviously, a person can say, hey, having an affair is desired for variety and a novelty in the person's life. Over time, long-term relationships may face challenges related to the routine of predictability. Stuff just stay the same, right? Then it can be perceived as a way to introduce excitement and new experiences into the relationship. Now, boy, put a pin in that real quick. Put a pin in that. I'm almost 100% sure, fellas, for the most part, not all, because some fellas gonna be like, man, I ain't with that shit. But you're gonna have some fellas that's gonna say, absolutely, I want to try something different. I want to have a different variety. I want to take a swing. I want to see, I get it. Sounds good. But here's what you want to understand, right? First off, let's identify with the first statement. Introducing something new into a current relationship, right? Most times, and I over the years, most times a person may want to experience something new, but is afraid to tell the other person they want to experience something new because they're afraid of what the other person is going to say or how they're going to feel or what they're going to think, right? Women too. Absolutely women too. Listen. What does this say? Haney. Yeah. So you're 100% correct, Haney. I think for the most part, it's not a male dominant topic. Most times you'll think it's male dominant when we start talking about side pieces because you automatically identify guys like, oh, well, niggas want to have side pieces. But the reality is a considerable amount of women have them as well. Absolutely. So now, second thing, let's go a little deeper, right? It says personal growth and exploration. Personal growth and exploration. Some individuals may see having an affair as a means of personal growth and self-discovery. Right? Exploring connections outside the established relationship can lead to a better understanding of one's own desires. I just said that, right? It may be viewed as a form of self exploration that allows individuals to reassess their values and priorities. In that sentence, is simply saying not everybody wants to be bored. At some point, you have to have some type of excitement. If you're not providing that, male or female, that may cause a rift. Somebody may want to entertain something different, right? Seeking emotional fulfillment is the third thing. In certain cases, individuals may argue that having an affair in a response to unmet emotional needs within their primary relationship, emotional needs in their primary relationship, seeking the emotional fulfillment outside the relationship could be seen as an attempt to find understanding, compassion, and support. Addressing emotional voids through an affair can lead to personal happiness and a more balanced life. Now, seeking emotional fulfillment, what I just said, that had absolutely nothing to do with physical. I didn't mention anything about physical. That ain't got nothing to do with sex, basically. That's a person who is emotionally detached, a person who is emotionally left and is not getting the necessary things they need emotionally, right? And then they find that somewhere else. Hence, a lot of people saying, oh, that's just my friend. That's just my friend. We just talking. That's just my friend. It's not nothing serious. It's just my friend, right? That's what emotional fulfillment is. If you're not getting that at home, it's not uncommon for you to try to get that somewhere else. Now, here we go. Those are 3 reasons why it can be good. That's reasons why it can be good. So now, obviously, you're gonna have some people saying, "Hey, man, it can't never be good to have a side piece. You can't never have it in a good way to have a side piece." Oh, I got a comment. Dominique says, "Say, bro, you need to invite me to the podcast one day so we can talk about it a little more. I might need a couple drinks, but we gonna break the internet with these type of topics. You can come on right now. I can invite you right now. You can get on right now. You ain't gotta, let me send you an invite right now. I can add you right now if you want to get on right now. I just sent you an invite. You can get on right now. You don't need no drinks. Drinks is an excuse. You can talk about it how you want to talk about it right now. We speaking on it right now. So, listen, understand this, man. Understand this, right? Everybody always is, before I get to the bad, I need to say this. Side pieces. Now, I can't speak, anything that comes out of this mouth from me is my personal, this is how I feel personally, right? Anytime a person says you're a side piece or you a hoe, for that matter, right? We just use side piece because that's a common term, but we all know, you know, we already know what it's really called. But at the end of the day, if you agree, male or female, man or woman, if you agree to be a side piece, if you agree, right, to say, you know what, yeah, I get it, I understand. I ain't worried about all that. That's your situation. I'm gonna play my position. I'm gonna play my role. And you agree to this. Two things happen. One, you're saying, whatever else happens besides me, I don't care about it. Don't have nothing to do with me. Two, you're also saying, even though I don't do drama, I'm understanding, I'm open to it. I'm now susceptible to it because I'm accepting this role knowing I'm not the only person involved. Just saying. So now we got into the good things. Now let's get into 3 bad reasons why a side piece can be seen as bad, right? 1, breach of trust. Breach of trust. The most glaring downside of having an affair is the betrayal of trust. Infidelity often leads to a breach of implicit agreement and commitment within a monogamous relationship. That means you're cheating. Trust is a foundational element of a healthy relationship, and an affair can irreversibly damage the trust between partners, causing emotional pain and forever lasting consequences. Simply put is, if you cheat on somebody, right, that you promised you wouldn't cheat on, or you've made commitments or vows to, and you cheat on this person, you have caused damage that may never be able to be repaired or reversed. Simply put. Now, just make sure I didn't lose anybody with that. So now, second thing, the emotional consequences. Right? So remember I just said before this, I just said if you agree to be a side piece, you're agreeing to 2 things. Right? 1, you're agreeing to not care about what goes on besides you. 2, you're accepting whatever those consequences are that's coming with this role. Now, affairs can have significant emotional consequences for all parties involved. All parties. The guilt, the shame, emotional turmoil experienced by the person having the affair, as well as the betrayed person. This can lead to long-lasting psychological scars. The impact on mental health, self-esteem, and the overall well-being of individuals and their relationship can be profound. Meaning, this can do so much damage to where a person may never recover. Ever. Got a comment. Side piece, to be or not to be. I think any responsible adult has the right to do what they please. Just be man or woman enough to be upfront and know what the situation entails. Don't switch up, meaning don't fall in love down the line when you have clearly agreed to being a side piece. Now, interesting comment. So here's the deal. Let's get off into this comment. Monique, great comment. I don't disagree. First, let me say that I don't disagree. So let's get into your comment. First off, you say, any responsible adult has the right to do what they please. 100% agree. Just be man or woman enough to be upfront, to know the situation and intent. Don't switch up. Now let's put a pin right there. When you say be man or woman enough to be upfront, with which party? With the side piece or the partner? Because most times I've learned it's a lot easier to be upfront with the side piece than it is with the spouse or the partner. Most people never have a problem with saying, hey man, I got somebody. As long as you cool with it, we cool. That's probably the norm, because we living in a time now where you can tell somebody you're married and that shit don't really mean nothing. That ain't scaring nobody off. You know what I'm saying? In this day and age. So I think to that statement, you gotta say you need to be honest with both parties. The party you're with and the side piece. That's the first thing. That's not happening, of course, because it's just reality. But that should be done. The second part, don't switch up, meaning don't fall in love, and don't change what you've already agreed on. Now let's get into that part. How many times? This is a general question. How many times have you guys ever met somebody? Whether it be a club, or a church, at a restaurant, a concert, wherever, you meet somebody and they say, hey, I'm only looking for a friend. I'm only looking for friendship. Nothing serious. How many times? Show of hands. How many times? Show of hands. How many times? So what happens when a person says that, that's the first lie. That's the very first lie. Because here's the reality, right? A person can tell you, I'm not looking for anything serious. I'm just looking for a friendship. I'm not trying to get off in nothing serious right now. That's cool. Sounds good. That's cool. But here's the reality. Here's the reality. Number one, if a friendship is the only thing that you are looking for, watch this, because I'm going to lose somebody. If a friendship is all you are looking for, does it matter how they look? Absolutely not. Does it matter how much they weigh? Absolutely not. Does it matter if they're fine or attractive, if they smell good? None of that matters. You're only looking for a friendship. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if they're attractive or that don't matter. But the problem is when you meet a person, you're not meeting them saying, damn, I bet you she's smart. Or he looked like he might have had a 5.0 GPA in high school. No, you're looking at them and you're conversing with them because you see something that attracts you. They're handsome, she's sexy, or she's fine, or he got a beard, or whatever it is. Something caught your eye that made you say, hey man, I want to talk to her. I want to talk to him. Something. It wasn't that you thought he looked intelligent. Guaranteed. That had nothing to do with it. You saw something else and you said, oh yeah. And here, watch this. Watch this. Men and women are not that different. Let's be clear. A man can see an attractive woman, walk past him, and if he's attracted to her, or he's going to say something. Even if it's something that's corny or out of the blue. Hey, how you doing? He's gonna speak of something. She's not just gonna pass by without anything being said. Not a man that's on a mission. A woman, totally different. A woman will let you walk by, look you up and down, and make a gesture, will not say a word. You'll walk by, you leave, she'll wait, get on the phone with a girlfriend. Girl, I seen a nigga today. Ooh, wait. And the first thing her girlfriend says is, did you talk to him? Girl, nah, I ain't say nothing to him. That's the only difference. That's the only difference. But when she saw him, she made up in her mind at that particular moment, oh, he could probably get it. Same thing with a guy. When a guy sees a woman he's attracted to, he's already made up his mind. Oh, yeah, she could get it. Yeah, she could get it. Now, whether or not she does, that's down the line. That, you got to have a conversation and, get to know the person and all that. But you at that moment, when you saw him physically, you already decided, oh, yeah, I give it to him. I give him some. Yeah, he gets some. Yeah, oh, yeah, you've already decided. It ain't until you have a conversation until you say, oh, no, hell no, he ain't getting him shit. Oh, no. That's when you change, but immediate from the view, yeah, you decided. Let's get to the comments. Human emotions, undefeated. No doubt. We forgetting the unseen, unspoken. Absolutely, 100%. Monique says, that's game. We always say that the upfront, however, it's a cover-up. Just in case things don't go according to plan, we can throw them back. I was only looking for a friend. Yes and no. Yes and no. Because here's the deal, right? Here's the deal. Before we get into number 3 on the do not disturb, here's the deal. Gerald Anthony Dixon hit it on the head. You can only go by what you know. There's no way you can make a conscious decision on the unseen. You can't. There's no way. You cannot make a conscious decision on the unseen. You can't do it. It's impossible. right? So as much as you may say, oh yes, man, he can get it, you don't know anything about him until you have a conversation. But once you start having a conversation, right? Once you guys start talking and interacting and getting to know each other, now you're saying, nah, bro, I don't want none. I'm cool. Because now you've realized, yeah, he look good, but he's a dummy. You know what I'm saying? So those are just factors that go into it. But here's the other side of the coin. Here's the other side of the coin, right? You know how most people act when they see Denzel or who's the Idris Elba or what's the other person they like so much? I don't know. Name, give me somebody that's pop that they go crazy. Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan, right? So Michael B. Jordan, for example, can walk somewhere, you know, and the lady immediately, oh yeah, ooh, girl, babe, did you see Michael B. Jordan on HBO? Man, I have 3 of his kids. I give him 3 kids, right? But guess what? You don't know him from Adam. You know nothing about him other than what you see in the movies. You don't know anything about him personally. You just going by what you see. And what you assume is a possibility from visualizing. You don't know him. You know what I'm saying? You don't know anything about him. But here's the deal. Once you get to know him and you realize, oh man, he ain't shit. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like you ever heard women always have a saying, niggas always be talking that shit don't do nothing. What you talking so much for? You don't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? You can't talk the talk, don't. If you can't walk the walk, don't talk the talk. So here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. At some point, the levels of curiosity that goes through a person's mind in the unknown is curiosity kills the cat. You want to see because you're curious. You want to know because you're curious. Right? But most times, not always, but most times when you want to know something so bad, it turns out to be a disappointment. You ever notice that? You just want to know so bad. You're like, oh, I got to know. I got to see. And it's not what you thought it was. Ever happened to you? You just thought it's just not what you thought it was, right? It's just how it is. It's just the nature of it. So let's get into this third thing. Risk of relationship breakdown. Risk of relationship breakdown. Having an affair poses a substantial risk to the stability of the primary relationship, meaning the relationship you've been in, not the side piece. Infidelity is a common factor in a relationship breaking down, leading to separation or divorce. The consequences extend beyond the emotional realm, affecting family dynamics, financial stability, and the overall quality of life of those involved. The fallout from an affair can result in long-term damage to both individuals and their families. In short, what that statement is saying, simply put, there's going to be a lot of collateral damage. It's not going to just be you and the other person. Everybody's going to be affected by it. So that's the main downfall of having a side piece. Now, obviously, while some, of course, will applaud it, some will not. Some may argue that having an affair can bring positive aspects such as variety, personal growth, new experiences. It is crucial to acknowledge the potential negative consequences and damages. The emotional turmoil, the lack of trust, and the risk of the relationship breakdown, not to mention the ethical considerations and the impact of all parties involved. And listen, I'm gonna just tell you. I'm gonna just tell you, right? Because in reality, so many different reasons can occur that will cause a person to want to entertain having a side piece, right? Um, I truly believe from from me, I truly believe that when you are younger, you know, the 20s, early 30s, I think side pieces are more of a goal. That's more of something you just doing. Um, I don't have to read, so I can take these off. That's just something you just doing for fun, right? I think obviously when you get older, there are different reasons you try to have side pieces. I don't think it's just for fun. Um, obviously, we can get off into the you shouldn't have one because it's a sin and you know God looked down on it and all those things make a whole lot of sense. Those are valid points. But the reality is, we live in a world where no one sin is greater than the other. We live in a world where reality sometimes is not the same for everybody, right? And so you can be and listen and listen and listen and listen because this has been a question that's often come up several times, right? There was a movie, I think it was called Indecent Proposal, right? And where this guy said, "Hey man, I'll pay you, I pay X amount of dollars. Let me sleep with your wife and you one night or whatever the case may be." And they took the money, right? And so I don't remember when the movie came out, but we talking about this is realistically. We're talking about 2024. Now, obviously, I'm not talking to any of my viewers. I'm not talking to any of my followers because you guys don't do this kind of shit. So we talking to people y'all may know, not y'all. But what if somebody propositioned you with $10 million? I'm just saying. What if somebody propositioned you and said, "Hey, I got 10 million. Just one night. Just one night. Matter of fact, not even all night. Just give me 2 hours. I'll give you $10 million, 2 hours. Just need 2 hours." Would you take the money? I mean, let's think about it for a second. Because the reality is, some gonna say no, I wouldn't take the money because that's just wrong, and you getting cheated on for free. People having affairs and not getting anything out of it. Just calling it what it is. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we there's pros and cons to anything that you do. There's ups and downs to anything that you do. But I think side pieces are not solely limited to sex. It's not solely limited to something that I just have to do for physical gratification. I think that gets a lot of the attention because that's obviously people think, oh, you gotta have a side piece, you gotta be laying up. Not always, not always. Like I said, I think in your 20s or 30s, maybe sure, but hey man, when you get to be 40 and 50 and 60, I don't know about some of y'all, but the body don't do the same stuff it used to do at 20 and 30. It don't. The stuff you were probably able to do at 25, you probably can't do at 45. Not on your own. You probably got to have some assistance or some help or, or some whatever the stuff they got going around or something. Then maybe possibly you could do it maybe. But the reality is, it's got to be more to it than just a physical thing. It can't just be a physical thing. It's got to be something else going on other than you just want to touch something. You know what I mean? Now, granted, I believe, and I could be wrong because this is me. I notice I say I believe. I always say I believe. I believe that windows of opportunity don't always end in a person taking advantage of those opportunities. I think just because you have an opportunity, that don't mean you always take the opportunity. You have some people who will say, "Man, I'm cool." You know, you have some people who will probably say, "Nah, I'm gonna pass." But you also have people who will say, "Shit, if I can get away, if I think I can get away with it, I might as well take a swing at it. If I, you know, if I know I can get away with it, man, I'm not, man, you know what I'm saying? I might as well swing at it." The problem is we don't put it in realistic sense. We looking at, see, first of all, we're not celebrities. We're not athletes. We're not rich. We're not millionaires. We're regular people. So when you put it in the perspective of a regular person, yeah, it's gonna be looked at different. But when you put it in the realm of somebody with some money, you know, hey, they cheated on Halle Berry, cheated on Janet Jackson, they cheated on Jennifer Lopez, Beyonce got cheated on. So when you put it in terms of people with money, right? Money, like we can say, I wouldn't do that, man. No, man, please. You know how many times you thought about knocking Tony Braxton down, or you thought about knocking down Angela Bassett or Janet Jackson or Halle Berry? You thought about it a lot. And if they knocked on your door and the opportunity presented itself, I'm almost 100,000% sure you probably take a swing at it. It's a once in a lifetime thing. That don't make it right. I'm just saying you probably would take a swing at it because it's a once in a lifetime thing. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only difference between a regular person and a celebrity. It's the only difference. You know what I'm saying? So if a person is at home, because I hear people, this is a common thing I hear all the time. Why cheat? Just leave. I hear this all the time. This is you can go in any circle, in anywhere in the world. You probably, none of y'all, of course, but y'all friends. You know, y'all friends will tell you they going through shit, or they doing this, or they doing that, and the first thing he says, "Why? Just leave. Just leave. You ain't got to do all that. Just leave." Sometimes it ain't that simple. Sometimes it's not that simple as to just pack up and leave. It may be a little more complicated than just leave. The other person may not want you to just leave. You understand what I'm saying? So there's always more variables that you just don't consider because you're just looking at, oh man, I, just leave. You know how? Cause watch this. Watch this. None of y'all, of course, this ain't never happened to none of y'all. I'm talking about y'all friends. How many of y'all ever left a relationship, got divorced, you got to somebody else, you know, you was in a relationship, let's say you was in a 4 or 5 year relationship and something happened and you called it quits. You said, "Man, I ain't putting up this shit no more." And you went and got you somebody else. And then a week after you get you somebody else, they do the same thing to you that the person you was with for 5 years do. How many of y'all ever been through that? Not none of y'all, of course. I'm just saying some the people you know, some of your friends. Of course, not none of y'all have ever been through it. I'm talking about your friends. I got a comment that says, "Man, it's definitely that simple, period. However, if one feels like they can play both parts, why leave?" You know what? That Monique commented that, by the way. You say it is that simple, right? You say it is that simple to just leave, right? It is that simple. Just, hey man, just walk out the door, just leave. Everything you got invested, all the time, all the years you got invested, just leave, right? I don't agree. I disagree. I disagree. I disagree, and I'm gonna tell you why. Um, I'm gonna just I'm gonna kind of spin back in my disagreement and just simply say this to you. I don't know this to be the accurate numbers because I don't have percents and all that in front of me. I wish I did, but I didn't have any idea you was gonna ask this question. But I would like to know the percentage of marriages or relationships that failed after one mistake. I'd like to know that number. I'd like to have that number. The percentages of marriages or relationships that went under from one mistake. Because, and the reason why I say that is, I had an uncle. My uncle's passed away right now. He's dead and gone. But I had an uncle who was married to my auntie for over 50 some odd years. 50 some odd years. And once my uncle got sickly, I would see him, every day, every other day, quite frequent. We talk, and I learned a lot about my uncle in about a 3 or 4 month span that I never knew. I never ever knew, right? And so, in having those conversations, I learned a lot of stuff. One, nobody's perfect. Two, in order to preserve, and again, I'm not making excuses for anything. I'm not saying anybody should do anything. This is just strictly me. But in order to preserve the family, you gotta go through some shit. You gotta go through it. You do. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why I don't put my hands on women. There's a reason why. It's a reason why I don't like calling women B's and H's and things like that. It's a reason. I just feel like we confuse love with other shit, if that makes sense. I think a lot of times we confuse, if a person hurt me, he don't love me. If a person did this to me, he don't love me. You know what I mean? And I don't agree with that. I think everybody makes mistakes. Nobody's perfect. And I ain't getting religious, you know what I mean? But I'm pretty familiar with the Bible. You know what I'm saying? There was a lot of folks in the Bible that made some real bad mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But they weren't thrown away. You know, we live in a time now where this independent shit is ain't nobody putting up with nothing. Everybody independent. I ain't got to take that. I'm independent. I go and do my own thing. You know, I ain't got to put up with that. I don't need no man. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to take care of the kids by myself. It sounds good. But what are the repercussions of you trying to do it by yourself? What's the aftermath of you trying to raise this son by yourself? What is it? It's always pros and cons to everything. It's going to always be, ups and downs to everything. You know what I'm saying? But I think to say why cheat, just leave, I don't think it's just that simple. You know what I mean? I think you got to really get into why it happened. You know, what caused it? What went on? You know, what were the steps or the levels and all this? And let me just say this too also. It's not always, just because a man cheats or a woman cheats, that don't mean it's always the other person's fault. We just assume just because somebody cheated, it's the man's fault. If the woman cheats, it's the man's fault. If the man cheats, it's the woman's fault. That ain't always the case. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes people just cheat just because. It don't have to have a reason. It don't have to do anything. It's just happened. It's just something that people do. You know what I'm saying? However, as I stated earlier, there can also be reasons why people do it. You know what I'm saying? If you coming home every day and there's you feeling like you being neglected emotionally, physically, there's no conversation, there's no interactions, there's no nothing. You know what I'm saying? Those type of activities lead you elsewhere. They do. Those kind of activities lead you to start entertaining other shit, other people, other conversations. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's never, I don't think any of it is easy. I don't think any of it is going to ever be easy. But I think you get to a point, what I will agree with you is you get to a point to where you just kind of get tired. You're like, you know what? Enough is enough. Let me just go on and try something different. And then you end up leaving that way. But I don't think at the gate you just be like, oh, well, I'm out. Let me just pack up everything. I'm gone. You can't do that because you got to consider, you got kids. You know, if there's kids involved, you have kids. You know, you got in-laws, you got you got bank accounts, you got insurance, you got life insurance policies, you got a whole lot of other stuff, that's tied into, they ain't make the song as cheaper to keep it for nothing. They made it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes people will stay together for convenience. People will stay together because it's a lot more convenient for us just to be together and do our separate thing than just be apart and just, some. I'm just putting that out there. For some, that's better. You know what I mean? So yeah, man. Hey, listen. You have people who generally, I think, matter of fact. Let me not say matter of fact because I don't know it to be matter of fact. But if I'm thinking correctly, I think Monique, if I'm not mistaken, agreed to allow her husband to have somebody else at some point. Um, and I believe that was because she was trying to do whatever she was trying to do to make him happy or keep him happy or whatever the case may be. She was just willing to try something to spice things up. To some, that's a possibility. Not none of my followers, not none of y'all, but some of y'all friends, may try to introduce a third party or somebody else or do something different and all that into the relationship, and that may work for them. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily um, agree with that because I'm for me, as I said earlier, the ramifications of that are drastic. You know what I'm saying? You can say, yeah, you can have somebody else bring them, and you bring somebody else, and then you enjoying the other person more than the person you with. That may not go well. You know what I'm saying? That may cause some irreparable damage to that relationship. But I'm sure people try. I'm quite sure they take a swing at it, or whatever the case may be. I just think that's extremely dangerous. Um, in that regard, that's extremely dangerous. So, um, yeah, man, it's gonna always be a reality. Um, if it was not a reality, it wouldn't have never made the song. Monica never wouldn't have made the song "Sideline Ho" or "The Boy's Mine" or all this. I left home to be my side piece. Harlem Nights never would have been, a popular thing. Baby, I ain't never come, if it wasn't a reality. But I think you 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 have to determine for you whether or not uh, that's a good or a bad thing for you. That ain't something somebody else can decide for you. You gotta be the one to decide um, if that's good or not. I think there are a lot of things, you know, when you dealing with side pieces that some will say, yeah, they just a lot easier to deal with. Ain't got to deal with the headache. I ain't got to answer no questions. I don't have to do this. I don't have to do that. So yeah, I'm always easy for me. I ain't got to put up with the drama. I ain't got to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? And then it'll start that way. It'll start that way, and then emotions get involved. See, that's the funny thing about the physical realm. You can that's why you have a difference between a bitch and a hoe. Excuse my language, but that's why you have a difference because one gets paid, the other one doesn't. One has feelings, the other one doesn't. Right? So you can say a friendship is all I want. I don't want nothing else, just a friendship. But you start conversing with this person, and this person is conversing with you on a level that you've never conversed before, right? This person is touching things up here that ain't never been touched before. Now your curiosity is on 10. Now you're like, well, man, we actually having a conversation. I don't even have these. I don't even know what a real conversation was like. You know what I'm saying? And you're not even physical yet. This is just conversing, right? And then you decide to enter the physical realm, and this person is touching things that ain't never been touched. This person is doing things to you that's never been done. This person is making you feel like you ain't never felt. You know what I mean? This person is appreciating you in a way you ain't never been appreciated. Guess what? All the rules out the window. All bets off. You know what I'm saying? Because now, matter of fact, I told somebody this. Well, I made a statement to somebody the other day. How many of y'all have ever ridden in a Phantom? How many of y'all, of my view, if you've ever rode in a Phantom before? Rolls Royce, Phantom, right? If not a Phantom, let's see, Maybach, McLaren, Maserati, you know, something like that. Some costs a bunch of money. You know what I'm saying? If you've never ridden in any of those cars, right? And they rent you one. Let's say you drive a Toyota Camry. You drive a 1999 Toyota Camry, and boom, you all of a sudden somebody rents you a Phantom. You get a Phantom. You rent a Phantom for a week. You riding around in the Phantom for a whole week. Now, mind you drive a Toyota, but you in the Phantom for a week. You a whole week you in the Phantom. When it's time for you to return that Phantom and get back in that Toyota, I'm almost 1,000% sure you ain't gonna want to get out of it. I'm almost for certain you gonna want to keep that Phantom. You don't want to keep it because the experience is something you've never experienced before. It's something it never happened. And you don't want to forget it. It's almost like going on vacation. If you ain't never been on vacation, go on one. I guarantee you by the time of your life, you ain't gonna want to come home. You know what I'm saying? Or a cruise or something like that. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna want to come home. It's no different. If a person is touching things that ain't never been touched mentally, and then they're touching it physically, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Even if you only letting them do it for that one time. When you go back to wherever it is you were, guess what? Whatever you doing, wherever you were, you're not thinking about them. You're thinking about that other person. You think about the other person all day. Comment says, come on now, man. How you just compare someone you made a commitment with to someone you having a fling with? Easily. Happens all the time. That's why they have things called divorce. You can see this is the thing. I heard, if I'm not mistaken, I heard Tyler Perry say this at a play I went to. And Tyler Perry said, when you get married, you marry 5 people. Yeah, you don't marry one person. Because people change. People evolve. You're not the same person in 2024 that you was in 2020. You're not. You're a different person. You're a different person. So if you do not evolve or together, you guys don't evolve together, this is what happens. You go the opposite way. If you don't go this way together, you're going to end up going this way. You can't tell me, matter of fact, let me go back to it. You just can't compare someone you made a commitment with to someone you just had a fling with. How do you think commitments start? Monique, how do you think commitments start? How do you think they start? Do you know every new relationship, 9 times out of 10, they come after the end of an old relationship. What started out as a fling, most times ends up in a commitment. I'm just saying. Most times. I used to cut hair in the barbershop. You know, the first thing I used to tell them in the barbershop, hey man, listen, you cannot, if your intention is not to be with this woman and you done already had sex with her, leave her alone. Because if you continue to have sex with her and you sleep with her 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, you go together. Whether you say you go together or not, you go together. If you done went over that 7, 8, 9, 10 times, you go together. Don't matter how you look at it, that's the reality. You are emotionally attached. You cannot go nowhere else. You understand what I'm saying? But just because you commit to a person now, right? Now, that person may change in 2 years. That person may change in 6 months. That ain't gonna be the same person 5 years from now. That's a different person. That's a different person. That's not the same person. That's a different person. If you guys are not willing to go this way together, you're going to end up going this way. I'm telling you. 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 And I'm not comparing a fling, so we clear, I'm not comparing a fling to a committed relationship. I'm simply saying if you're not getting anything in that committed relationship, a fling will make you reconsider that committed relationship. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. I ain't comparing it. I'm just saying if you going home every night and ain't nothing happening, ain't no steakums in the oven, ain't nothing going on in the bedroom, ain't no conversation going on, guess what? You're going to put up with it, but for how long? For how long? You're probably going to put up with it, but for how long? And if you stay there, what else you doing? Correct. We definitely have to evolve together. That's correct. That goes to being upfront, but don't hide behind the Pharisee piece. Moving on and cheating are two different things. I can agree. I can agree. I can agree. I don't disagree. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with you. That makes sense. I think again, as I said earlier, I think a lot of times when you get into a committed relationship or a relationship or a marriage, the one element, and this is gonna set the internet ablaze, but I'm gonna say it anyway. The one element that is always missing is God in the middle. For a woman, I'm just fishing. I don't know because I'm not a woman. For a woman, it may be more mental than physical, right? Like for a woman, it may not always be about the physical. It may be more mental. You know, she wants you to be more engaged mentally, and I think for a man, it may be more physical than mental. For a man, you know, if you work all day and you know I'm just saying you come home and it's been a long, stressful, strenuous day and this and that, you don't want to come home to no drama. You know what I'm saying? You want to come home to some feel good type shit. You know, you want to. I'm just saying. You know, I just think that's the one thing that's always missing out of the equation. I think you know the reality, and I'm not gonna let this go another route. I'm just say, man, as humans we have an affair with home is doing 100% correct. Our flesh and emotions just take over sometimes. Sometimes we elevate and overcome that urge with wisdom, and sometimes we can't. not me or your viewers. Just yeah, absolutely, of course, just the viewers. But no, but let me just Monique, man. First of all, let me say this, man. I appreciate you. I appreciate your comments. I'm happy you are here with this dialogue. I love it. Um, and I'll simply say this to you. Yes, you are 1,000% correct. The flesh is often extremely weak. Um, I think a lot of times, as I said, um, we always want to say certain things, but I think our actions say something different. Um, I have had many moments of the flesh, many more than I would care to count, and I'll tell you this: a lot of those moments um, were not done just because I just did them. You know what I mean? They weren't instances where I said, "Oh, you know what? I'm going out and getting my shine on." No. Um, a lot of times, not to make excuses, because there are no excuses. You know what I mean? But a lot of times when you are emotionally detached from everything, anything is possible. When you emotionally detach yourself, um, you are susceptible to everything. Everything. Um, the nicest people show up. People compliment you. You know what I mean? It just a plethora of opportunities arise when you are detached, and so that's why earlier I said it doesn't always have to be the fault of the other person. It could just be you just being selfish. You just not thinking um, rationally and just being selfish. And a lot of times, when you have, as I said, when there's a lack of real spirituality, you open for everything. You open. You wide open. You're target, right? And when you combine that with you get into an argument or you disagree or you know sparks ain't flying in the bedroom or um, all these different variables occur and you already detached. You know what I mean? So those don't help. They don't help. You know what I mean? And so you have to be, you know, one, you have to be real. You have to be real enough to say, um, yeah, yeah, I did it. You know what I mean? Um, I probably shouldn't have, but yeah, I did it. You know what I'm saying? And so you have to own up to taking responsibility. You have to own up to being a person um, who I believe is is something that um, a lot of times we're just not willing to do that. We just not willing to do that, man. And personal experiences will teach you so much, man. Personal things that you deal with and go through will teach you so much about you, about people, um, about life, and just everything. You know what I'm saying? And so um, yeah, man, it's tough, man, to to just be in a situation where you can just say, you know what, hey, the hell with it, you know, it is what it is. You can't do that all the time because even if you want to do it, sometimes you could want to do it and it don't come out like that. You know what I'm saying? Let's see. I'm sorry about that, you guys. Um, I got disconnected real quick, but I'm back. But anyway, Monique, you have been the real MVP of the show tonight. You have literally um, gaslit the podcast tonight, man. For shit show, you have done it. The one thing I've always wanted to do, I've always wanted to do in having this podcast and doing this show, man, is be transparent, to be real, um, to not to sugarcoat anything, to not to um, hide behind anything, and to be as open and susceptible to um, to whatever, um, whether that be questions, whether that be comments, topics, um, doesn't matter. I think it's impossible for a person to have a platform and run, right? Um, you can't run. You know what I mean? Like when you open up the door and you open up a can, you can't just close it right then because you opened it. The people is in here already. So you got to be prepared for whatever comes with that. And so, to everybody, man, everybody who I've sent invites to that have accepted my invites to the Spree Speaks page, thank you. Thank you. Um, to everybody who's called me, thank you. To everybody who has encouraged me to continue, to everybody who has said, don't give up, to everybody who has um, hated, thank you. I need it. I need it. I need all the fuel. I need all the negative energy. Um, I need all the positive energy. I need it all. So to everybody who um, has given me any kind of support, any kind, I'm grateful. I am grateful. Um, when I first started this show, man, and I ain't gonna go too far into it. I just thought I could just hit the live button, man, and just be free with it. But then I realized that it's more to it than that. I realized that in real life, people are really dealing with real life shit. People are really going through real life stuff. People are really experiencing things that I've experienced or that people who view the show have experienced. And so it changed my whole perspective on how to proceed with the show. It changed my whole dynamic on how I think about um, different things. Obviously, some topics are a lot more sensitive than others, definitely. Um, I've had people send me, man, I wish I could just, I got a thing right here with just topics that people send me every day. Um, that they want me to get into, some good, some not so good, some hilarious I never talk about because my church family, watches me too. Um, but I'm just thankful, man, for the outpouring um, of support. I'm just glad um, that I'm able to do it. You know what I mean? That y'all able to see me do it. You know what I mean? I'm just excited about it. Um, I'm gonna put this out there real quick. Um, we have a bigger show coming. Um, we have a huge segment on child support coming. Um, man, I mean, it's gonna be explosive the way we got this coming at y'all, man. But I need you guys to do y'all part. I need anybody, any of my viewers who has ever um, had to deal with child support issues, good or bad. I need you to tell me what your experiences is. I need you to inbox me your experience. I need to know if you would like to be a guest on our show. We plan to have 3 guys and 3 women um, on our show, and we plan to do it with a live audience. We got it set up to where we want to have a live audience, where we're letting our audience ask questions and do the whole nine. And look, man, I don't know nothing. I don't know nothing, man. I don't. I don't know anything about how you set up. I don't know that, but I don't even care. I know how to do this, and I know how to be honest, and I know how to be real and transparent. And as long as I know how to do that, and as long as I'm able to be fortunate enough to be able to do that, I'm gonna bring it to you hot. You know what I'm saying? So definitely send the experiences in. Keep sending the topics to me, man. Keep sending them. I know some of y'all like, man, I sent you 2 and you ain't used one yet. Keep sending them, man. They coming. I promise they coming. Um, I haven't used any topic of my own. I haven't. Not one. Not a one. I haven't used not one. Um, and I'm happy that I haven't because talking about what you guys want to hear me talk about means everything to me, man. That's important to me. So um, keep sending them to me, and I'm gonna keep doing what I do. Um, my manager has been amazing. Like, man, I would shout her out, man, but she probably get embarrassed and she ain't gonna say, but she has been phenomenal, man. She's been such a huge help for me in so many different ways, man. Um, you wouldn't even imagine how impactful she has been. Um, man, just she's been huge, man, huge. So keep watching, keep sending, telling people to watch, keep sharing the videos, um, keep subscribing to the YouTube channel. Um, the numbers are going up. The numbers are going up, man. They are. I was surprised, that the numbers were as they were, but the numbers are going up. Um, Not that I'm doing it for numbers, but the numbers are definitely going up. When I get people inboxing me, man, this changed my life. This really spoke to my spirit. This really helped me. I wish I could just show y'all some of my inbox messages, man. Like y'all, so y'all don't think I just be making this shit up. So many people, man, have like have reached out to me, man. It just, man, like it's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. But I'm thankful. I'm humble, and I'm extremely grateful. Extremely grateful. You got our support. God never calls the qualified. You know the rest. Yeah, I know the rest. I know the rest. We appreciate you for giving us a place. Um, yeah, yeah. Hey, man, listen, man, man. Yeah, yeah. I ain't gonna go no further, man. I'm gonna shut it down because I kind of feel myself getting a little emotional right now. I don't want to do that. So um, I'm gonna just say thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. Thank you. Um, and we'll see you guys on the next show. I'm out.